Hi everyone, it is Vika and Vala. In Russian, a law is like a streaming subscription. One name, lots of genre inside. But in England, the subscription has only two plans, solicitor and
barrister.
Let's see which one is premium. How do they split the work? Which one is like a Russian advocate and which role is totally missing from the English system?
Russian. Prosecutor is the state's representative in criminal proceeding. They maintain public prosecution in court and supervise the observance of law by investigative bodies. The main task of a prosecutor is to ensure the correct application and observance of the law. A prosecutor of the assistant work in the prosecutor office. Advocate is an independent professional legal advice. They give consultation draft documents, represent clients in courts and other state bodies, and act as defendants in criminal cases. An advocate can act in the client's interests both in the court and out of court. Notary is a guarantor of the transaction integrity. They do not advise like an advocate but certify the legality of documents, confirming the authenticity of the pen's intentions. A notary works a notary office. In-house counsel is a corporate lawyer working within a single organization. They negotiate and execute transactions, draft contracts, and legal opinions, covering all the legal needs of employers. Law school graduates often work as in-house lawyers in companies and enterprises. Investigator is a law enforcement office with a legal adjudication. They prevent, investigate, and solve crimes, working directly with evidence at the crime scene. Nowadays, there are many job opportunities in law enforcement, in the police and the investigative committee.
Solicitor is your first point of contact in the world of law. Their activities are regulated by the Law Society and Code of Conduct defines ethical and professional standards. A solicitor advises clients, handles paperwork and negotiations. If a case goes to court, the solicitor gathers evidence, finds witness, and prepares the claim. Solicitors are more likely to work as practitioners on a small first, but they may form partnerships. And for representation in higher courts, the solicitor hires a barrister. Barrister is a master of court advocacy. Barrister are regulated by bar council. They skillfully address the judge and jury and draft complex legal opinion. Professional barristers are technically competent to perform all court advocacy, both for the prosecution and the defense in criminal cases, as well as for the claimant of defendant in civil claims. A barrister, as a rule, works independently and doesn't communicate with the client directly, only through a solicitor. A limited number of experienced barristers receive the status of King's Counsel, which is a mark of the highest recognition of their skills. Most senior judges only practiced as King's Council.
Let's move on the two comparison. Now let's look at the key difference. Remember on our advocate who combines case representation and court representation. In the English system, this task is divided. The solicitor handles documents and client's contact. The barrister handles court work and legal materials. That is, the Russian advocate is functionally close to the communication of solicitor plus barrister. By the way, an in-house counsel is almost a complete analog of a solicitor inside a company. But here are the key differences. There is no separate investigator position in England. Crime investigator is carried out by the police, and prosecution in court is handled by the Crown Prosecution Service.
So which is better, a universal advocacy like in Russian, or the narrow specialization of solicitor and barrister like in England? There isn't a clear answer. But here is a tricky question. The England system has maintained the division for several centers. What do you think? Show a thoughts in the comment, subscribe in our channel, hit the like and button, and see you next time!